this is when WWE TV was really conservative. And now this other man was going to be in love with Razor, and he had a Razor tattoo on his chest and stuff like that. And so I'm sitting at him, and he goes, because see, Razor would be really homophobic. And I said, yeah, but I'm not, Vince. And he went, well, let me tell you about my first homosexual experience. And I remember looking at Kev thinking, you mean as opposed to your most recent?
Do you believe that sexual harassment exists in your workplace?
I believe that there's a possibility of sexual harassment existing everywhere. And
I asked directly if it was in the World Wrestling Federation.
I don't want it in my organization. I don't want it.
I'd like to reiterate the question. Do you believe there is sexual harassment amongst the wrestlers or employees of the World Wrestling Federation today?
There is a possibility of that.
You may have heard about the shocking sex abuse lawsuit being leveled at WWE boss Vince McMahon by a former employee.
WWE boss Vince McMahon has resigned following sex trafficking allegations from a former employee.
Talking about the WWE's culture, saying it was toxic, abusive, widespread, pervasive.
In light of all the allegations against Vince McMahon, one of the things that's also come to light is whether or not he swings both ways.
It's a serious business, It's also still and always will be a fun business, and it's something that you have to do with passion, and a degree of levity.
Kevin Nash, who worked with McMahon for years and has friends in the industry such as Scott Hall, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels, spoke about how Vince recalled his first homosexual experience when he and Hall went to speak with Vince McMahon for a storyline involving Goldust.
Scott and I rehashed that conversation numerous times.
Living in North Carolina, he said, I was hitchhiking one time. And I don't know anything about Vince's past, but I'm thinking, hitchhiking from where? The pool to the country club? Like, what? And he said some guy picked him up and was like rubbing his hand on his leg. And I'm thinking, okay, now tell me, what does this have to do with wrestling?
Former WWE wrestler Dutch Mantel also spoke out about these rumors, but felt that the women were still worse off than the men when it came to Vince McMahon's sexual tendencies.
I would have liked to heard the rest of that story. The hitchhikers pick you up. You meet Vince and you don't think that he would swing south at any time. You know he likes the women. But I've said before, Vince had a certain vibe emitting from him that was just strange to me. I'd see those girls go in his office, but you see some girls come out and some of them have tears in their eyes. Some of them be crying, some of them be shaking. It is what it is. And you take it or you leave it. Some guys left it. Some guys took it. And I think it was the females who didn't know how to take it. Of course, they probably got the worst end of the bargain anyway.
Sabu has also stated that he has heard rumors about Vince being gay for years, and that one of the reasons why Pat Patterson, who of course is also gay, was never fired was because he had too much on Vince.
Vince is a fruitcake himself, and he hires fruitcakes. I didn't witness for myself, but that's what I hear. That's why Pat Patterson still has a job, or had a job, until he died. He worked there regardless of the heat he had or not. He had so much on Vince couldn't fire him. But yeah, I heard a lot of shit about guys, but not so much anymore. It was back in the WWF days.
UFC legend Chael Sonnen also recently came out and said that Vince used to push the careers of male and female superstars in exchange for sexual favors.
I never met Vince, and I know 11 people that he slept with, 8 of them men, 8 of them women, all consenting adults. Yeah. And anyway, I mean, when Vince got Me Too'd out of the business, I did think it was a surprise, but as good as he is, I would not completely count that he couldn't come back. When the men start coming out, it will be a difference.
Wait, he used to bang dudes a lot?
Oh, yeah. But he would hold their careers over them, just like he would the women. It was the same thing. You get paid more, you get pushed more. This is not a secret in the industry. I mean, Shawn Michaels, like guys that you would know. There was things.
Wait, he was banging Shawn Michaels?
Well, or whatever it is that they. But yes, they had their.
Now, there have been lots of rumors going around with regards to the relationship between Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon over the years, as a lot of people think that it was somewhat sexual in nature. And one wrestler who was, well, Shawn Michaels, probably his biggest rival, Bret the Hitman Hart, spoke out about it and said the following.
I think that, I don't know, because you never know what goes on behind closed doors, but I really strongly think there's a link between some kind of a homosexual tie-in between Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon.
Now, admittedly, this could also be due to sour grapes from Bret the Hitman Hart, stemming from the whole Montreal screwjob situation.
Vince loved him.
Right.
Vince would, and it's proven. You know, we paid Shawn $750,000 a year for about 4 years to do nothing because he was Vince's guy. And every time we go over budgets and things, what do you want to do with the Shawn contract? Nothing. Leave it alone. Okay.
Road Warrior Hawk also didn't hold back with regards to what he thought was a strange relationship between Vince McMahon and Shawn Michaels.
I've never seen anybody, including Stone Cold, have Vince more wrapped or in the palm of his hand at Shawn Michaels. I don't know if it's a sexual deal they got going on, because I've heard this about both of them. I don't know what it is. But that Shawn Michaels got away with more crap than I've seen from anybody.
Just the way.
Matter of fact, when they got the hair fight pulling match between him and Bret Hart, and believe me, if everybody would have broken up, Bret Hart would. But the thing is, they're both pulling hair. There's Pat Patterson going, lock out. I'm going, hey, I don't break up fights. I said, I don't want anybody breaking up mine either. And so right there was the end, beginning of the end for Bret Hart. That's because that tells me something. To me, as a heterosexual man, it tells me maybe there's something going on with these two, where after 17 years of Bret Hart, who stayed there, worked there every day, worked his ass out, and didn't get time off with phony injuries like Shawn Michaels. I could never understand it. I said, there's something going on here. I used to call it a ball and cock contract.
But in any case, if you're new to the channel, welcome and thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and check out some of the other videos on this channel. And let me know what you guys think about these rumors, whether there's any validation to them or not. And as always, thanks for watching.
Let me just say that I've made mistakes, obviously, both personally and professionally through my 50-year career. Owned up to every single one of them and then moved on.